At our Thanksgiving gathering, my sister rose from her seat and declared, "We took a vote and you're no longer part of this family." The room erupted in applause. I gave a quiet chuckle and replied, "Well, I suppose you won't want this then." I slid a folder onto the table. The second she flipped it open, she let out a piercing scream. Before we sliced the turkey, Natalie stood up, her face beaming with that practiced, superior grin she always wore. "We have an announcement," she said, her voice dripping with smugness. The room fell silent. Silverware hovered in midair. My stomach twisted. I recognized that tone. It was the same one she used when I was 15, getting me punished for a gathering I never even attended. "We held a family vote," she went on, scanning the table like a politician basking in adoration. "And we've decided you're not family anymore." A pause. Then cheers. Cheers! My cousin, Sarah, clapped like she was at a festival. Uncle Tom lifted his glass in a toast. Even my own mother, my mother, giggled and said, "It's about time someone spoke up." I sat there, stunned, staring at my congealed mashed potatoes. My pulse raced. My father didn't meet my gaze, just took a swig of his drink and mumbled, "Probably better this way." "Wow," I said, easing my chair back deliberately. "You all practiced this, didn't you?" Natalie's smile widened. "You've been poisoned for years. We're done faking it." "You're not family," my mother chimed in, grabbing the gravy boat as if we were chatting about the forecast. "It's a group decision." I scanned the faces around me. Not a single defender, not one. "Fine," I said softly. Then I reached for my bag. "I thought this might come up," I added, pulling out a hefty folder and setting it down with a soft thud that silenced the chuckles. Natalie frowned. "What's that?" I leaned back, crossed my arms, and smiled. "Take a look." She grabbed it and tore it open, her lips curled in that cocky smirk she always had when she thought she'd won. Then she turned the first page and froze, her face drained of color. She flipped to the next page, and the next. Then she shrieked. A gut-wrenching, movie-like wail. Her chair toppled as she shot to her feet, slamming the folder shut as if it had scalded her. "You're a freak," she sobbed. "A sick, twisted monster." Gasps rippled across the table. Her husband Mark grabbed the folder and opened it. His mouth fell open. He looked at me. "Is this?" I nodded once. "It's all true," I said. "Every detail, every transaction, every message." The room went still. You could hear a spoon clatter in the sink. My mother's jaw worked soundlessly, like a puppet with cut strings. "You were so sure I'd roll over," I said, rising slowly. "So certain I'd stay the silent one, the pushover, the money tree." I leaned forward, locking eyes with Natalie. "Your performance, it's finished. Want to know what was in that folder? I'll get to that. But first, let's rewind to how this all started. Natalie didn't just wake up one morning and decide I wasn't family. That verdict was years in the making. Layer by layer, jab by jab, betrayal by betrayal. I was never their darling, far from it. Natalie was the queen, the shining star. Top grades, dazzling charm, a knack for working any crowd. She could deceive someone and have them eating out of her hand. Me, I was reserved, private. I didn't crave the spotlight, and they despised me for it. They mistook my quietness for fragility. I left home at 19, funded college alone, juggled 2 jobs, never asked for a cent. Meanwhile, Natalie flunked out of 2 programs, jetted off to Asia to discover herself, then returned and married Mark, a walking corporate headshot in a suit. Their wedding, I covered half the cost. My parents couldn't swing it, yet somehow managed a month-long vacation right after. I didn't grumble. I never did. Even when they teased me as the family bank, I kept stepping up, paying for Dad's knee surgery, sending cash when Mom claimed the electric bill was late, even chipping in for Sarah's college fees when her grant fell through. They'd say, "Thanks," but with that undertone, the one that implied, "Well, you're expected to pitch in. You don't have a family to care for." Maybe that's what broke me. I'm single, no kids, no partner, no chaos. Just me, my career, and my cat. To them, that meant I had no excuse not to bail them out. Natalie, in particular, saw me as her safety net. When Mark got laid off, she texted me first. Just a quick loan. When her SUV died, you're loaded, what's $3,000? When her son needed counseling and insurance didn't cover it, guess who she dialed? I always came through, always, because I convinced myself it was family. But support became duty, then entitlement, then demand. It started small, snide remarks at dinners. Oh, you brought dessert? Must be nice to afford fancy stuff. Of course you're on time, no kids to slow you down. I wish I could stay late at work and dodge my spouse too. Then it turned crueler. You're so distant. Maybe that's why you're still single. You don't get real pressure. You're just resentful because nobody relies on you. Except, they did rely on me. Endlessly, financially, quietly, in secret. Then came the message. Natalie, hey, can you co-sign for our startup loan? Mark and I are opening a yoga cafe. Me, no. Natalie, wow, seriously? Then, radio silence. That was 3 months ago. After that, I got the freeze out. Mom stopped texting. Dad sent one-word responses. No invite to the last family dinner. Natalie unfollowed me online after posting about cutting out negative energy. But I didn't wallow. I started gathering evidence. Actual evidence. See, I'm meticulous. Bank records, messages, screenshots, dates. I'm not careless. And over the past 5 years, I'd funneled over $92,000 to family members. $92,000. $9,500 for Mark's treatment program. $2,800 for Natalie's urgent dental procedure, which was actually cosmetic veneers. $1,800 for my father's hip operation. $14,000 to clear my mother's loan debt. $7,200 for Sarah's university setup expenses. $5,000 for a supposed crisis that was really a getaway to Maui. Not once did they offer to repay me, they just took. When I stopped giving, they labeled me the issue. So I compiled the folder, inside. Every bank transfer receipt, every message and email asking for funds. Screenshots of Natalie texting her friend that I was controlling because I refused the loan. A chronology of every significant payment I made over 5 years. And for good measure, copies of social media posts where they ridiculed me. I had screenshots of Natalie calling me a spineless ATM in a private group chat she didn't know I could see. That's what she saw when she opened the folder. That's why she screamed, because Natalie wasn't just revealed. She was undone, detail by detail, page by page. The family realized what they'd done. My mother looked like she might collapse. Mark, staring at a $4,800 entry for Natalie's credit card, used at a resort in Monterey with someone named Lisa, muttered, "What's this?" I stayed silent. I didn't need to speak. For once, I wasn't explaining myself. I was showing them reality. "You tracked everything?" my mother said, her voice trembling. "You never kept count," I replied evenly. "So I did." Natalie stood, ashen, her hands balled into fists. Her gaze flicked to Mark, to me, to the folder. "This is an invasion," she hissed. "You had no right." "No right?" I said, rising slowly. "You just stood here, told everyone I'm not family, and they cheered. Now you're mad I came ready?" Mark turned another page. "What's this Monterey charge?" he pressed, his tone sharp. Natalie's head whipped toward him. "Don't start." "Who's Lisa?" he pushed. "Why were you at a resort for 3 days on my card?" Her silence spoke volumes. "Wait," my mother interjected, raising her hands. "Let's all take a breath and be rational." "Sure," I said. "Let's be rational. Let's discuss how you called me a leech while depositing my check." She flinched. "That's not fair. We were struggling." "No," I cut in. "You struggled. I fixed it. Every single time. And the moment I said no, I became the villain." My father, quiet until now, finally spoke. "You're blowing this out of proportion." I turned to him, my voice low. "You watched them do this to me for years. You knew, you heard, you stayed silent because it was simpler than standing up." He didn't argue. Natalie slammed her fist on the table. "You're just jealous because no one wants you anymore." Wrong, I said icily. I'm not jealous. I'm finished. She gave a harsh laugh. You're ridiculous. A folder, screenshots. You think this makes you the victim? It just shows you're obsessive. And you, I countered, only valued me when I paid your debts. You can't play the saint, she yelled. You chose to help. No one forced you. Yet somehow, I said, stepping closer, you demanded it, every time. Until it wasn't help, it was obligation. And when I stopped, you voted me out. My voice shook, not with sorrow, but fury. You didn't want a sibling. You wanted a bank account with a pulse. Mark stood, clutching the folder. Is this all true? He asked Natalie. She stared at him, speechless. No crocodile tears, no deflection, just Silas. You lied, he said, about the resort, the money, about him. You made him sound unhinged. I had to, she burst out. He was turning everyone against me. I didn't, I said. You managed that alone. The room fell silent. My mother leaned forward, her voice softer. Sweetheart, we might have overreacted, but we're still family. Families argue. Let's move past this. I stopped her. You're not listening. I'm not asking for reconciliation. I'm not seeking apologies. I'm telling you. I'm done. Natalie scoffed. Don't act like this is some grand exit. You've threatened to leave before. I met her gaze. Not like this. I reached into my jacket and pulled out another envelope. What now? My father sighed, weary. I dropped it on the table. Mark caught it before it slid off. He opened it, read the first line, and his eyes widened. What's this? He whispered. I answered. Legal documents, power of attorney for Mom, revoked. Healthcare proxy, canceled. Emergency contact, removed. I've signed everything. I'm no longer legally or emotionally tied to any of you. My mother gasped. You're cutting us off entirely? Entirely, I said. Effective now. You're heartless, she said, tears welling. We messed up, but we're still your family. I faced her, my voice steady, final. No, you're not. I grabbed my jacket, gave them one last look, and walked out, leaving them amid their Thanksgiving meal, stunned and silent, surrounded by cold dishes and harsh truths. I didn't look back. Not because it didn't sting. It did. But as I shut the door, stepped off their porch into the crisp night, something shifted inside me. For the first time in years, I felt free. I didn't head home. I pulled over by the river I used to visit as a kid, where Dad and I would fish. I sat in the quiet, staring at the calm water, feeling something unfamiliar. No weight dragging me down. No shame. No demands, no one expecting a payment, a lift, or a favor, just quiet. The morning after, nothing. The next day, still silence. But on day 3, the messages began. First my mom, a missed call, then another, then a voicemail. You were serious? We were upset, but we're still your family. I didn't answer. Then texts. From Natalie. You don't even see what you've caused. Mark's filing for divorce. Satisfied? Something's wrong with you. Then my dad. You crossed a line. We all said things we didn't mean, but this was brutal. Your mother's falling apart. Fix it. I didn't respond to any of them. And honestly, I expected guilt to hit. I thought I'd lie awake, questioning if I'd gone overboard. But instead, I slept soundly. Better than I had in years. No more overanalyzing every message. No more bracing for the next crisis. No more late-night PayPal pleas wrapped in fake emergencies. For the first time in a decade, my mind was clear. I started rising early, going for jogs, savoring coffee slowly. I booked appointments I'd delayed forever. Dentist, doctor, even a counselor, not because I was shattered, but because I could finally prioritize myself. I updated my emergency contacts, removing my parents. Changed my passwords, locked down every shared account they could access, blocked Natalie everywhere. It wasn't about vengeance anymore. It was about moving on. A week after Thanksgiving, a text from Sarah, the cousin who cheered when they ousted me. I didn't know you covered my tuition. I'm sorry. I just went along with everyone. I didn't reply, but I read it, twice. Then a shock, a message from Mark. I filed for divorce. Everything in that folder was true. She cheated, lied, manipulated. Not just you, me too. He added, "You did the right thing. I should have walked away sooner." That hit me unexpectedly. A few days later, I did something I hadn't in years. Applied for a job in a new city. Not fleeing, but choosing freedom. No more stay near home. No more who will look after them if you go. I reconnected with old friends I'd drifted from, too consumed by family demands. And the craziest part? Some saw my Reddit post. They messaged me. "We're proud of you. That took guts." No one asked for cash. No one guilt-tripped me. Just pure, honest support. Someone asked, "Don't you regret it?" I paused, then said, "I only regret waiting so long." I thought that was the end. In a way it was, but with people like them, closure is never tidy, especially when they feel the void you leave behind. The weeks after Thanksgiving were calm, blissfully, strangely calm. No calls, no shame, just peace. Until Christmas. On December 22nd, my mother sent a photo. Their living room adorned with stockings, a half-decorated tree, and a glaring empty space where gifts usually piled up. "It's not the same without you," the caption read. "Ellie keeps asking why Uncle's not here." I stared at it for ages. No apology, no accountability, just the usual manipulative nudge. "Look at the pain you're causing." I didn't respond. December 23rd. Natalie called. I let it go to voicemail. Then her text. "I know I screwed up, but you're hurting everyone. Come for Ellie. She misses you." 2 minutes later. "Also, Mom and Dad are behind on the house payment. I know you're done, but the bank called today. Thought you'd want to know." There it was. The ask, always cloaked in guilt, always softened with fake concern, always ending with a demand. I blocked her number. December 24th, a text from Dad. "You've made your point. We get it. But this is enough. We need help. We're still your blood." That night, I sat by my fireplace with a glass of wine. My small apartment was bare. No tree, no chaos. Just me and the quiet they always warned would ruin me. For the first time, I was grateful for that silence. But it didn't stop there. January. A call from an unknown number. I answered out of reflex. "Is this Daniel?" a man asked. "Yes. Who's this?" "I'm Tom, calling for your father. He said you're the main executor of the family trust." I stiffened. "I revoked that 2 months ago," I said. "It's finalized with the lawyer. My name's off everything." A pause. "I see. Your father couldn't reach you and asked me to discuss options. They're in a tight spot." Of course they were. Natalie and my parents had run dry. The bank was closed. The safety net was gone. Now they were getting desperate. I hung up without another word. The final blow came in February. An envelope arrived. Handwritten. No return address. But I knew my mother's handwriting instantly. Inside, a 3-page letter. Page 1. Regret. "We spoke in anger. You've always been our rock. We didn't realize how much we depended on you." Page 2. Guilt. "Your father's health is failing. Natalie's on her own now. We're worried about Ellie. She's struggling." Page 3. The pitch. "We're selling the house, but we're underwater on the loan. We just need a little help to get by. We'll never ask again. Please, Daniel, do it for your father, for the family." I held the letter for a moment, letting their words sink in. The pull of duty, the bite of expectation, the familiar urge to mend what was broken. Then I folded it, stood up, walked to the kitchen, and dropped it in the bin. They weren't asking for support. They were demanding access. Again. They didn't want me back as family. They wanted the old me. The one who never refused, who paid quietly, sacrificed quietly, suffered quietly. But that person? He's gone. I'm not their punching bag anymore, not their cash machine, not the glue patching up their crumbling lives. I'm done. And the scariest part for them? I'm thriving without them. I landed a new job, relocated to a new city, bigger apartment, fresh start. I started volunteering on weekends, not out of obligation, but because I chose to. I built a life where no one texts me at midnight to fix their unclaimed mistakes, where I'm not penalized for standing on my own, where kindness isn't a bargaining chip. I don't regret aiding them, but I regret how long it took me to stop. Real peace? It's not being surrounded by family. It's being free from those who only call you family when they need something. Update. Months later. I didn't expect this post to gain traction. I just needed to get it out, to say it somewhere. But I read every comment. Those who said, "You were strong. They don't deserve you. Thank you." I didn't realize how much I needed that until I heard it. Some asked, "What if they change?" I've wondered that too. It's been months. They haven't changed. After I cut contact, after the folder, the shouting, the silence, and the letters, I thought someone might get it. Reflect. Say, "We're sorry." They didn't. They went quiet, then calculated, then desperate, then cruel again. But me, I found freedom. Since then, I settled into a new home, took a job that doesn't haunt my nights, started therapy, real therapy, where you stop trying to save everyone else and learn to sit with yourself. I cook for myself now, sleep soundly, spend more time outside. I don't tense up when my phone pings. Sometimes I think of Ellie, what she's learning, what she'll grow up thinking is normal. But I also know this. I showed her what it looks like to say, enough. A few days ago, another letter arrived, handwritten, from my mom. 3 words. We're still family. No explanation, no apology, no shift. Just the same old bait. And for the first time, I felt nothing. No rage, no sorrow, just emptiness. I tossed it and made dinner. So, I'm back here because this place gave me clarity I didn't expect. Strangers saw me more clearly than my own kin ever did. So here's my question. Did I do the right thing? Cutting them off? Dropping the burden? Saying no and meaning it? Was I too harsh? Or was I finally done being the only one keeping it all together? I'm not sure, but I know this. For the first time, I'm not just surviving, I'm living. Thanks for reading. I'm still listening.